Hello, good day everyone. Today we from Group 1 of 3 TML2 gonna present about international maritime security and the issues that we have selected is maritime law enforcement, ocean and shipping, which is in Indonesia regarding the experience against illegal fishing. First of all, we have to thank for this opportunity to Commander Tang for giving us this opportunity to present this. Before going through, we'd like to introduce our team members. First of all, me, myself, VIVEK, son of APPALANAIDU, 22000419. And next, Mohamad Kushari ASYRAF, 22000420. Continue with FAZLYNDA, 22000431. And then finally, Siti Atiqah, 22000433. Okay, learning objective. So, in this whole assignment, the whole issue, we're going to learn about introduction, international law relevant to maritime security, national law relevant to maritime security, maritime law enforcement authority in Indonesia, continues with Indonesian countermeasures of IUU fishing, and the policy implementation and problem solution. Last but not least, the conclusion. Okay, so for the introduction, okay, so for this issue or for this topic, it is on Indonesia, the maritime law. So the sovereignty and security and safety of the coastal state are all at risk if maritime security laws are not enforced. So a very huge number of marine crimes committed in Indonesian seas demonstrate that these countries still confront difficulties in executing maritime security rules regarding illicit fishing, or to be said as illegal fishing as well. Indonesia needs a robust maritime security infrastructure to protect their sovereign rights to the resources in its EEZ exclusive economic zone and its continental shelf as well, where the weak enforcement of law has become one of the major factors in Indonesia for this problem. So that's why this problem in the maritime security of Malaysia, of Indonesia has been risen. Nextly, the ineffectiveness of Indonesia's government like upholding maritime law and stop illicit fishing should act as a wake-up call for the country's authorities. And it aims to evaluate the difficulties faced by Indonesian marine security and law enforcement system by focusing on illegal fishing. So this will provide option for improving maritime safety and security in reducing illegal fishing.
Okay, I will explain about international law relevant to maritime security. There are a number of international agreements that regulate fishing, shipping, and pollution in the ocean. The first is Nation Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. The United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, is only one of many other international treaties that currently use the UNCLOS as their basis or reference point. Second, International Maritime Organization, IMO. They have 30 various agreements have been sponsored or otherwise the responsibility of the International Maritime Organization IMO. Those conventions fall into three main categories. The first is maritime safety, second prevention of marine pollution, lastly liability and compensation. Third, Food and Agriculture Organization FOA. The primary goals maritime security are the suppression and punishment of illegal fishing. Example, the FAO Code of Conduct for Responsible Fisheries from 1995 is reference about the elimination of IUU fishing on the national and international level. Next, the fourth International Labour Organization ILO. ILO passed Convention 188 in 2007 on work in fishing or C188 ILO 2007. Lastly, Cape Town Agreement CTA deal with this problem on worldwide basis. The both international treaties establish standards for the construction of fishing vessels and equipment, as well as the protection of crew and observers working on fishing vessels. Next, national law relevant to maritime security. The maritime security law of a country are analyzed in light of maritime specific threats. Indonesian legal system has been called one of the most formidable legislative systems in the world. There have been around 1,600 pieces of legislation passed in Indonesia since its independence in 1945. Most of the core principles established by international treaties have been implemented into domestic legislation in Indonesia. Due to the availability of various conflicting regulations, The authorities entrusted with executing these numerous maritime security standards may find themselves operating beyond their jurisdictional scope. The frequent occurrence of disagreements between marine rules highlights the urgent need for a change of Indonesian legal framework in this subject.
Okay, so I will continue this presentation. Maritime Law Enforcement Authority in Indonesia. First is, there is no maritime law enforcement agency under the Indonesian government. Second, there are 10 different government agencies in charge of enforcing the law of Indonesia's waterways. The first, Navy, Marine Police, Bakamla, MOT, MOMA, MOMAF, MOEF, MOEC, MOEMR, DGCE or MOF, and DGI or MOLHR. The third is when operating within Indonesian territorial waters, the Indonesian Navy is tasked for ensuring national security and protecting the country. This organization is the top in Indonesian Marines security system, but not enough to be at the top of the corporate to exert control on lower level departments. Arises a problem when the appropriate agencies are hesitant to work together owing to overlap in their respective areas of power. Many different agencies involved in maritime security causes the marine patrol system is poorly coordinated. And the last is there is no maritime law enforcement agency under the Indonesian government. That is, institutional reforms are needed immediately in Indonesia's marine security sector, and a unified national maritime patrol system should be established. And the last is the establishment of a national coast guard is one of possible solution to the problem of overlapping jurisdiction in maritime law enforcement. Indonesian countermeasure of IUU fishing. The first is Indonesia Fisheries Management Areas. There are 11 different WPP, NRI, or Fisheries Management Areas. Each WPP has a boundary coordinate list and map detailing the area's exact location. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations assigned a unique number to each WPP that corresponds to the World Major Fishing Zone. The second is Satuan Tugas 115, or also known as Task Force 115, who contribute member of the Navy, the Police Department, the Attorney General Office, and Bakamla all contribute to the effort of Task Force 115, which is led by MOMAF. The achievement of Task Force 115 is the elevation of human enslavement in the fishing industry and the capture of FV Viking. Successfully reveal human commercial smuggling, enslavement, bribery, and other acts. And the last is combating of IUU fishing. Damages sustained by Indonesia due to illicit fishing in the Natuna Sea, South China Sea are estimated at 212 million USD. The majority of illegal fishing across international borders is carried out by FFB. And the last is, in order to combat IUU fishing, Indonesia sank vessels that were suspected of engaging in the practice.
Okay, next I will present about policy implication and problem solution. First is a new omnibus law on maritime affairs. The purpose of omnibus legislation is to consolidate a number of laws into a single, more manageable law. An omnibus law provides for a full administration of maritime security. Next, establish of a national coast guard. Indonesia should establish an autonomous maritime law enforcement body similar to the United States Coast Guard to deal with this problem. In terms of maritime law enforcement, countries like the United States and India both having the best coast guard. The Navy is in charge of maritime defense, while the Coast Guard is responsible for border patrol. Outside of the Coast Guard, they have other law enforcement agencies with maritime duties. Next. build Indonesia marine security system on a combination of the two previously described models. The third option is for coalition of relevant organizations, including a national coast guard, to oversee maritime security. A third option is proposed due to substantial difference in geography, history, and political structure in Indonesia. Next, the participation of the Navy and MOFA is based on careful examination of their individual histories, level of expertise, and area of expertise. Regular Navy participation in maritime law enforcement will make it more likely that the Navy will support the establishment of a national coast guard. Next, conclusion. In Indonesia, implementing maritime law requires the combined effort of many different agencies, which is difficult because of the country's decentralized structure. Global unlawful fishing is just one aspect of the larger problem of transnational fisheries crimes. Therefore, multilateral and regional cooperation are essential in transnational criminal investigation. Finally, a solid legislative framework and administrative structure are necessary for effective marine security and safety in Indonesia waters. The success of maritime law enforcement depends on the hard work of everyone involved, both in frontline position and in support role. Next, this is our references, and thank you.